Good afternoon and welcome to More Than Meets the Eye. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today, we're going to be talking about G.I. Joe Classified Series Pack-In Dragonfly Glenda. Yeah, one of the bonus figures that came with the G.I. Joe Classified Series Haslab XH1 Dragonfly. The XH1 Dragonfly is hanging out at the corner of the screen with me because I like my helicopter. I really do. Little bits about it. Some people have stated their seatbelts have been breaking, and I would like to advise anybody who owns a Dragonfly to please be careful with them. Treat them very carefully and cautiously, like you're messing with eggshells. Maybe that will help. I've been treating my seatbelts like they're made of glass, I haven't broken mine yet, and I'm hoping I never break them. But never know. Cross your fingers. So today, we're talking about Glenda, and Glenda was a unique figure. And before we get into it, please go below and hit the like button, share and subscribe, and comment with, below telling me what is your favorite figure that came with the Dragonfly. Which one have you enjoyed the most, or which one have you thought looked the coolest, like color-wise, everything. Let me know from a sighted person's perspective which one looks the coolest out of the four. Not counting the Dragonfly, because I already know that one looks too cool for school. Okay, so a little backstory of Glenda here. Glenda is a G.I. Joe exclusive from the country of Argentina. Argentina, yeah, she does that. Argentina made some GI Joes, and they colored Scarlett's hair blonde and did a bit to Scarlett and called her Glenda. And apparently, she was a hard figure to get a hold of because she was only released in that country and not for very long. So Glenda, like Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander, was a unique figure that's a chase figure for the original O-ring collectors. And since they make these whole, since the original O-ring collectors have some of these holy grails, like Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander and Argentina Glenda, they figured, why not include these figures in the set? There we go. I stood her back up, and yeah, I thought that was really interesting. It's a way to bring something from the past to the present and keep its exclusivity. So I have my Cobra, my Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander, and now I have my Glenda. And interestingly enough, in the G.I. Joe Classified Series Haslab Rattler, we didn't get something like that, unless the Baroness is something that was hard to find in the O-ring line. I am actually a little surprised that we unless of course I'm just mistaken and I don't know enough about the O-ring figures, but they didn't brag about having something that was rare to find in the 80s or almost impossible. She does that a lot. So let's get into her because she's obviously, chomping at the bit to have the review done about her. She keeps falling on me. And that's the first thing I want to talk about with this figure. Okay, I like the way this figure feels. Well, partially. We're going to get into that. But the thing that I dislike, my biggest dislike about this figure, is for some reason she does not like to stand up. She dislikes being in a vertical position. This figure just wants to sit in the cockpit of the Dragonfly. She refuses to stand. And to any of you out there who got a retro Scarlet, I am so sorry for you. Or the Scarlet that's based off of Glenda, because, if Glenda doesn't stand well, that means that Scarlet doesn't stand well. The difference is that retro Scarlet came with a standing pad, which I am a little irate that this classified Haslab did not come with 4 figure stands. How hard is it to just give us some stands to put our figures on? Come on, guys. You're doing it for the retro line. You could slip a few of those in. You could. You could have just dropped in a bucket load. You could have done that. It doesn't take much, and not every one of the people that collects your G.I. Joes has access to a 3D printer to make their own standing pads for their figures. You could help us out there, especially when you produce figures like Stumbling Glenda here. All right, Glenda acts like she's been drinking all night long with how often she stumbles and falls. I'm not sure exactly how confident you'll be in her machine gunner attitude. Uh, But she's this stumbly when she's just on her feet. Okay, so that's enough making fun of Glenda. And the biggest thing that I dislike about Glenda is that her balance is off. I do wish they had done something to fix that. Maybe by giving her slightly bigger feet, because her feet are kind of small. I think like you could have given her some bigger feet, just slightly. So let's talk about something interesting with this figure, and that's I wasn't expecting this weird hose thing. Let's get it out of her hand and let's get it off her back. So she has got a GI Joe laser pistol thing, and it's got this backpack, which I assume is the battery compartment, or it was taken from the Ghostbusters and reformed. Yeah, this feels like the weaponized ecto packs that the Ghostbusters have. And GI Joe saw that and like, I think we can use that. So it's got some neat textures here. We've got some really weird stuff going on at the top of the backpack. It's like this little bobble bit. Maybe that's some sort of vent. And it doesn't have any. Oh, actually, it does have vents in it. There's a couple of vents sliced into there. So maybe that is a cooling vent. And then down here on the sides, we've got some, I'd give them sci-fi textures, little circles and squares cut into it. We've got another lower vent down here or something like that. It feels like it's a vent. Maybe there's some lights. It feels like that may be a light. There's a little bobble on the bottom left hand corner by how I'm holding it, and the opposite corner from where the hose is, and that feels like it could be like a blinky light. Stand, Glenda. Thank you. And then over here on the other side, we've got some chambers that are sculpted in here. Maybe it's like a compression chamber on the side for the laser effect. I don't know. But then we come up here to the hose, and it's the same type of hose that we got with the Techno Viper. The same sort of texture. I really enjoy the fact that this isn't just a simple hose, that this is actually something that they sculpted every one of these little rings in the hose. I really appreciate that. Other companies would just give us a hose. You gave us a hose that has sculpt work in it and molding, and I like that. I like that a lot. And over here to the gun. This gun is not a rubbery gun, unlike Wild Bill's pistols, which I'm still counting points off of Wild Bill for those. We were promised no more rubber. And you lied to us, Hasbro. You lied to us about Wild Bill's rubbery pistols. But this one is not a rubbery gun, so I'm just so confused. Like, how can we get some guns in this that are rubber and some guns that are not? Anyway, the textures on this gun are wild. There's barely any part of this gun that is left textureless. The handle's got textures. The sides of the gun have textures. There's a smorgasbord of textures on the gun, and we even have an iron sight, I think. Yeah, there's a bit of an iron sight, and it's a very interesting weapon, and it feels so much like a pistol that would hold submachine gun. It's actually like the right size for a submachine gun, but it's got this hose attachment, and it doesn't even have an ammo pack. It's a very unique weapon, and this is a very unique backpack with the weapon. And I have to say that my a negative I have on it is, why did they give it to Glenda? Glenda's going to be living in the cockpit. Like, this could have gone with somebody else. Unless it's just the thing that she got whenever the figure came out back in the 80s. And in any case, that's definitely something that other Joes will be using, because Glenda's going to live in a helicopter. She also came with a really well-sculpted helmet. We've got some cool stuff going on here. I do have to say, missed opportunity on this helmet, where other helmets they've given us have the visors that fold down. This helmet doesn't have a fold-down visor. It's got a permanent visor in the lockdown position. I'm like, oh, we could have gotten another fold-up, fold-down visor, but this helmet specifically is to assist you in making Glenda an army builder. It covers the majority of her face, and it makes it very difficult to see what type of character it is. Inside this helmet, I have her hair hanging out so it doesn't get lost. I can try and pull it out. There it goes. Her hair here that goes with the helmet is really nice. She's got a little crop on the left-hand side above her left eye, and it's swept over, a little cowlick going over her right eye. And then down the sides, she's lightly brushed it. It feels like she brushes it with her hands to slice it, to pull it back behind her ears. And yeah, it's not very long hair. It goes down to the nape of her neck. And as a pilot, you don't want very long hair. Now, Let's see if we can slip this back in there. All right, now, yeah, we got this. We got this. There we go. Perfect. That way I don't lose the hair because being blind, I'm a person that loses accessories, and I try not to lose accessories. I really do. So part of not losing accessories is being proactive about your accessory storage. That's why I am constantly harping on Hasbro about the fact that we don't get any storage. The Rattler's going to come with storage, but it'd be nice if the Dragonfly came with some. Come on, guys, you keep giving us all this cool stuff, but we need a place to keep it. And I'm really happy that we're finally getting some sort of playlist with the Cobra. And I just wish that we would get something like that for the Joes, just something small. Sell something that's like $25. It's just a bunch of you know, carrying cases or something. I don't know, but give us something, please, Hasbro. So that's the helmet and the hair. Now let's talk about her other hair that she currently has on her head. And this other hair is my favorite because it's got the really cool earphones for her flight communications, and she's obviously used her headset arm, the arm for her headphones, to pull her hair back, and then she strapped the headphones on, so her hair's pulled back under the headphones. I like that. I like that little bit. Some of it's seeped out from the other side, but by the mess around her hair, you could see a lot of it's being held back by these headphones, and that's some really cool textures, and I really appreciate that. That is the attention to detail right there. Other people would have just taken the other head sculpt that hair sculpt we talked about and slapped the piece on it. But this one, they did that kinda, but there's still extra molding to show that this is actually kind of holding the hair back. And I like that. I really do. I think that's fun. And I like the way that she looks with the headset on, little thing coming around to her mouth so she can speak. It's nice. It's really nice. Now let's get into the last accessory before we get down into this figure. And the last accessory is this pistol over here, made of rubber. I don't know what's up with the sidearms, Hasbro. Why do you keep making sidearms out of rubber? What is your infatuation with making rubber guns but refusing to make rubber Transformers wheels? What's up with that? Huh, Hasbro? It's just weird, in my opinion. It's just weird. You're so weird, Hasbro. You're acting so weird. You make the guns out of rubber and the wheels out of hard plastic. And you look at Lego. Lego manages to make plenty of wheels. Sorry, I'm getting on to my tangent about Transformers not having rubber wheels, and we keep getting told that that's a good thing, and that is not a good thing. Don't listen to anyone who ever tells you that that's a good thing, because it's not. They got some wonderful vinyl wheels. We saw that with Beachcomber, and we saw that with Sandstorm. They can do it. They just won't do it. All right, moving back into Glenda here now. Something I should note, and a Punk with Toys pointed this out, and I appreciate that. It's a leotard. She is wearing a leotard. She's wearing a skin-tight outfit as her flight suit. I don't know why she's wearing a skin-tight outfit as her flight suit. I didn't think flight suits were supposed to be skin-tight. I thought, flight suit was a flight suit. And then again, I've never laid hands on a flight suit, so I don't know. I've laid hands on a lot of military gear and stuff like that, but never a flight suit. So I've honestly got no idea what they're supposed to feel like. So maybe it's supposed to feel like a leotard. But let's start from the bottom of the feet, and we're going to go up. So bottom of the feet, they did not texture anything here. Now, I was willing to forgive that for Wild Bill, because Wild Bill wears cowboy boots. And cowboy boots famously have no traction on the heel. All right? These are not cowboy boots. These are some weird sci-fi combat boot things. No sculpting on the bottom, not even for the edges of the boots. And I am just saddened by this. It feels like I'm holding a Marvel Legends figure. By the way, this is the only figure in G.I. Joe classified history that I have held on this channel that I confuse for a Marvel Legends figure. That's not a good thing, okay? That's not a good thing, Hasbro. The G.I. Joe classified line is better than that piece of trash Marvel Legends line. And I'll stay on that hill, all right? And that's because of their sculpt work. Like, if they get better at it, maybe I'll come to it. But I just don't like their sculpt work. I don't like the way the figures feel. So let's moving back in. So we got these big boots, and they come up to her knee. They go all the way up to the knee, and they got some really nice armor textures on the front of the boot. And on the back, it feels pretty relaxed. I honestly don't like the back of the boot and how relaxed it feels. I wish they had come up with some textures for the back of the boot, but at least it doesn't have leg muscle texture. I don't think. I don't think we get leg muscle texture in this boot. Uh, let's see. Spin the boot. No, no. And I keep saying boot, and I gonna be a Canadian soon. It's about time. Um, Moving up to the knee, we've got the knee here is not really something to write home about. There's no fun textures going on with the knee. It's just some muscle textures, and that's just about it. Moving up here to the thigh, more slick Marvel Legends texturing going on here at the thigh. And then we get up here to the, we'll move on over here to the other leg where something else is happening. Smooth textures going all the way up to the thigh, but on the other leg, on her right leg, she's got her pistol. And the holster for the pistol's got, the regular, actually, no. No, it does not have the regular holster texturing. I misspoke right there. That's just solid texturing. That's smooth texturing right there. Very similar to her leotard. I don't know why, unless that's odd. We usually get some sort of texturing in our holsters. I'm hoping that Glenda isn't a sign of times to come whenever it comes to GI Joe Classified series. As a blind person, I'm really hoping that doesn't happen because I love the textures in the sculpt work on these, and I suggest any blind person out there get some. So here we got wow. Well, that's skin tight. That's a butt. That is a butt right there. Wow. Wasn't expecting that much definition in the derriere. But that is what we're getting right there. We are getting one derriere, that's for sure. Now moving on here to the front, the groin area. Does she have any sort of armor there? No. It's a rougher texture around that zone, but not really much more going on. Though that is a different texture than what we've gotten with everything else. So maybe we're going to see a break in the smooth texture soon. The belt around her waist isn't too bad. I do wish they had it maybe expounded upon it a bit more, but we do get decent textures. There's a belt buckle in there, and we've got a couple of little extra pockets onto that. Moving up here to her core, let's bend her backwards as far as we can go to try and expand that core a bit more to really get in there and take a look, because her harness is really keeping a lot of her core. She's got a small core area, and there's not much muscle texture there. There is some muscle texture, but I'm not really seeing a lot of it. I don't know why. It's like she's wearing a thicker shirt, or is it just that she doesn't have insane abs? It feels like maybe she does. No, 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 no. There's a piece of armor or some sort of texture right there on her core area that is keeping me from feeling what her muscles may feel like. I think I can't really get in there to tell. That's a little bit of muscle tone, but not much. Her midsection's not really the best when it comes to sculpting, though. With the straps added, it does feel nice. It does feel complete. Now we're moving up here to her breast area, her upper chest. We've actually got some actual texturing going on for the cloth of her shirt. Oh man, that's the first texturing that we've come across on the body next to that little rough area around the groin area. This is actually cotton shirt texture that they've done before, and I appreciate that. We've got a texture for her upper body finally. Moving around here to the back of her, we don't really have any textures going down her back. We got some really nice muscle tone though. Those are nice muscle textures. But when it comes to the shirt texture, it's there. It's there. It's very light. The texturing's very light, but that shirt texture is there. Now, coming around here to her arms, we've got decent muscle textures again, thin muscle tones, double jointed elbows, which by the way, she does also have double jointed knees. I didn't point that out, my bad. Double jointed knees. Well, let's get back into this. Double jointed elbows, I appreciate that. Lady J has double jointed elbows, and I believe that Cobra Coil Baroness has double jointed elbows. I could be wrong. I haven't checked her in a while. She's my only Baroness. I'm waiting on the Iron Grenadier Baroness as my second Baroness. Now, then my third one will be the one that came with the Rattler. Now moving down here to the hands, we've got some really big gloves. She's wearing some really nice gloves. They, I guess they're flight gloves or something. They feel very similar to the gloves that Wild Bill is wearing, even going so far as to put this weird filigree on the back of the arm area. It's got the same texture as Wild Bill's, which is neat. I like the fact that they are sort of matching. But then, so that's her left hand. But then we come over here to her right hand, and we don't have that. Her right hand doesn't have such a glove. And that's interesting. I'm thinking that this glove may be some sort of computer or something, or it could just be a mistexture with the figure. Let me know in the below what's going on with her left arm, her left forearm. What is that on her left forearm? Because I was thinking that was glove textures, but now I'm thinking it may be something else because there's little textures underneath her arm too that we can feel, and it feels like little straps. So she's got something strapped to her left forearm. Now her right forearm has nothing on it, and her hands are gloved, I believe. I'm not exactly sure. I couldn't tell you. I'm trying to find if they have a fingernail. If I find a fingernail, it means that there's not a glove here. If I find fingernails, there is glove. I'm not 100% sure if that's a fingernail or not. So I'm going to make it dubious if she's wearing a glove on her right hand. Now, coming up here to her head, we're going to take off her hair. So we got an excellent head sculpt moment here. And let's talk about her head sculpt. So we've got a, coming from the chin, she's got a decently rounded chin. Like, that is a nice chin. I like her chin. Moving up here to her lips, decent lips. I think she's, is that a grimace or a smile? I'm not sure. Moving up here to her nose, it's kind of a pointy nose. She's got a petite nose. Kind of feels a bit Irish to me. And then moving up here to her eyebrows, she's got very, very light eyebrow action going on here. She does not have big bushy eyebrows. It almost feels like her eyebrows are painted on because the textural nose is so limited. And then finally, her hair. Let's put that back on. And we talked about the hair earlier. So that is a, well, how do we put this hair back on? Okay, there it goes. Let's see, slip it back in. There we are. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, my overall thoughts and feelings on Glenda here. Now, Glenda has amazing articulation. I didn't even talk about that. Well, not amazing because of the core here. So she can move her core back. She can move her core forward. It's on a ratchet. She can kind of wiggle sideways. But honestly, for this figure, I wanted more. I mean, you can get more out of her, kind of. But I wanted more than that. And did I just break something? What is that? What is that hanging there? I don't know what these are. I just found them by fiddling with her. I thought they were attached to her lower section area, but they're not. Unless they are? And you can unsnap them? Can you unsnap these from her from her? I don't know. I don't know. The definitely interesting here. What in the world is up with these things? There's that piece there and that piece there, and I bet you they both snap into the underside of her like belt. I bet you those snap into her belt or something. Let me know in the comments below. Did I just break her by fiddling with her articulation and snapping those pieces out? Oh boy. That seems like it'd be difficult to get them back into their slots. I hope that's not the case. But she does decent movement in the core. I'd say, yeah, there's a ratchet in there. She's got ball joints. Decent movement in the core. And now I got these problems. I gotta have to try and figure out what I'm supposed to do with. I did not mean to do that. I did not mean to do that at all. We're just gonna hide them. We're just gonna slide them back under there and pretend that never happened. It's just gonna slide it back under there. Nonchalant whistling. Okay. So my overall thoughts and feelings on the grade of this figure. Okay, I'm gonna have to take points away for Leotard. All right. I see what they were trying to do there, but they made it feel too much like a Marvel Legends figure, and that definitely is going to have points removed. I don't like the fact that I bought there's a G.I. Joe classified figure that feels like a Marvel Legends figure. The lack of textures on her do discount her a lot. I always take a point off for lack of boot texture. I'm going to take a point off for lack of leg texture, and I'm going to take a point off for for these arms. I think we could have gotten some more textures here. I really think we could have gotten some more textures here. and the fact that we didn't is just sad. It's a possibility. Oh wait, there is a glove there. I totally missed that. But so she does have a glove on her right arm. It just doesn't have the stuff that the other arm does. Yeah, so 3 points off for texture problems. She's going to have a point removed for falling ability, where she's just constantly falling over because she's not well balanced. And yeah, she's a bit stiff. This harness is neat, but it does like hinder her a lot. So overall, yes, 6 out of 10. Glenda gets a 6 out of 10. She's got a lot good going for her, but when it comes to the things that I like about these GI Joe figures, she doesn't have a lot of what I enjoy. And what I enjoy are the textures and the fun things you can do with it. And finally, before we end the video, we have one more accessory to talk about with Glenda. Before I call it quits, we're just going to let her sit there for a second. And we're going to drag this guy a little closer and pick him up. Slide him over. There we go. We're going to talk about the last accessory she comes with, which is this cool harness. Now I've got crazy legs in the harness right now, and we can unhook the harness from his arm. Come down here. Now we're going to try and unhook the harness from his from the dragonfly. There it goes. Dragonfly's unhooked. Let's go ahead and move the dragonfly back to where its position was just a second ago. Do 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 do. Blue Skidoo, we can do. There we go. All right. Okay. So this harness was not what I was expecting whenever I was thinking harness. Okay. And you know, I don't have a lot of experience with harnesses, but there's a lot of tabs on this harness. This thing is adjustable all over the place. There's just tabs to adjust its size on every single matter. It's wild. It is a wild harness. There's straps down here for each of the legs that you can adjust. You pull this little tab and you tighten it around the legs, so any figure can wear this harness. Though the negative is you get all on the back, you got all these little strap bits sticking out everywhere. But that's okay. We're not going to showcase this back. We're looking at the front, and this harness is cool. Okay, I like the little loop. You can actually hold him by the loop. That's cool. I was thinking that because everything slid into place and just kind of clicked in there, that this wasn't going to hold up that well, but it does. This harness holds up very well. I've had crazy legs sitting on that harness in that position for days, and nothing's happened. I gave it the test, and this harness is golden, and this harness is just awesome. And I love the fact that we get it. It's two separate pieces, by the way. We've got the upper harness and the lower harness, which makes it really easy to connect your figures together. All you have to do is pull off the harness by coming around here to the, let's lower up this stuff. So pull it off, you just adjust this one, and you come over here, and you adjust this one, and you adjust the one on the back of his leg on the other side, and we're just going to peel the top one off by adjusting that one all the way down. It's going to actually pull out. We're just going to pull it out. We can't pull it out. There we go. There we go. There we go. Aha! There it is. Okay, now we can take the top here, and we can adjust this because his arm is actually in it. So we've got to slip this bigger, and then we slip this side bigger too because it's under his armpit. I think that's neat. I like this harness. This is a good harness, people. This is a good harness. This is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed playing with this harness. So we're going to move the harness up. We got to unattach it from the lower harness at the front below. The attachment point is right below the ring that the helicopter will plug into. And yes, this harness does also work with your GI Joe Classified series Vamp or Stalker. So let's get the rest of this helmet piece off in. There it goes. First bit done. All right. Yeah, that's fun. I really like that, how it works. And then we can just slide the other half down his legs, and it can just come on. So let's just pull it down like a pair of pants. There you go, sir. Take it off. Take it off. Yeah, take it off. Yeah. That's a nasty little crazy legs right there. Taking it off on camera like that. Okay, let's go ahead and put these two back together. We've got, there it is. There's two spots for it. Yeah. Got to make sure you don't confuse what's the front and what's the back. It's pretty easy to figure out what's the back of the harness. The back of the harness will have a big flat plastic area with a hole cut in it so that you can have characters wearing backpacks while wearing this harness. And then we can take the front and slip it into a little slot right behind the circlet for the connection point to the helicopter. And I really like how their connection points are really, really hard plastic in comparison to the rest of the harness. Makes it very easy to plug these straps in. They plug in very, very easily. Very, very easily. And I am actually going to be weird today, and I am going to judge this harness by itself because this harness is such a versatile thing that you get for your GI Joes. This is so versatile that it can be used with your Vamp, it can be used with your Stinger, it can be used with your Dragonfly. You can use this harness in a lot of different ways. So I'm going to give the harness accessory a 10 out of 10. I think this is one of the best accessories we've ever gotten with GI Joe Classified series. It's really cool. It feels a bit crazy in the hands. It feels a little wild, but once you play with it, you'll figure out how it works, and it's very intuitive to figure that out. It doesn't have any weird tricks or something like that to it. It's pretty easy to put together, and it's a very, very, very amazing accessory to get. I haven't gotten an accessory this much fun since that cat guy in Fortnite came with the rest. Came with the weight bench. I love my weight bench. I have Colossus always pumping iron on it. But I've been Blind Prime, and you've been watching More Than Meets the Eye, where I raise awareness for the blind and the visually impaired through alternative means and methods, and this is including to, but not limited to, reviewing action figures from a blind perspective. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and if you want to help me raise awareness to the blind, please, once again, subscribe and share. It does help me out a lot. We are climbing fast. We're in the 1680s in subscribers now, and we're still climbing. I am every day I wake up and see that number increase. I'm very happy. All of you, I appreciate you so much. Couldn't do this without you. Couldn't have this Dragonfly without you. And I couldn't have this channel without you. Thank you all so much for watching today's video, and please go out there and have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourselves. Until next Prime, bye-bye for now.